Your heart has been beating faithfully since the day you were born. Day after day, year after year. More than 2.5 billion beats by the time you turn 70. It has carried you through laughter, loss, love, and worry. And yet, somewhere along the way, we forget that the heart also needs to be cared for. Not just checked when something goes wrong, but protected every single day. Most people believe heart problems come from big, obvious causes. Bad cholesterol, high blood pressure, or smoking. But the truth is, the most dangerous threats are often the quiet ones. The everyday habits that slowly wear your heart down without you even noticing. They don't cause pain. They don't make noise. They just quietly drain your heart's strength, one beat at a time. I once met a man named Walter, 74 years old, who said, "I never drank, I never smoked, but somehow my heart still failed me." When we looked closer, the answer wasn't in his genes or diet. It was in his daily routine. He sat for hours, skipped breakfast, drank too much coffee, and slept too little. None of those things seemed serious on their own, but together they built the perfect storm, a slow, silent kind of heart damage that took years to appear. That's what this video is about. Because if you're over 60, it's not just your arteries that matter, it's your habits. The way you start your mornings, the foods you reach for when you're tired, the emotions you hold on to when life gets heavy. All of these shape how your heart performs, not just today, but for the rest of your life. In today's video, we'll uncover 12 everyday habits that silently damage your heart, from the foods you think are healthy, to the small routines that quietly raise your blood pressure, to the overlooked emotions that make your heart beat harder than it should. Because heart disease doesn't begin with a heart attack. It begins with repetition. The things we do every day without thinking. And the good news is, you can change them, one small choice at a time. Number 1. Drinking healthy smoothies loaded with sugar. It sounds healthy, doesn't it? A fruit smoothie in the morning, colorful, full of vitamins, and made from ingredients that seem natural. That's why so many older adults start their day with a bottle labeled 100% fruit, believing they're doing something good for their heart. But what most people don't realize is that behind that sweet taste hides one of the biggest threats to heart and blood vessel health: sugar overload. When you drink a store-bought smoothie, you're not sipping whole fruit. You're drinking concentrated fruit sugar, stripped of the fiber that slows down absorption. A single 12-ounce bottle can contain 40 to 50 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 10 teaspoons. And when that much sugar enters your bloodstream at once, your body reacts the same way it does to soda. Your blood sugar spikes rapidly. Your pancreas releases a flood of insulin to control it. This sudden surge thickens your blood, stresses your arteries, and triggers inflammation inside your vessel walls. Over time, that inflammation leads to arterial stiffness, a silent process that makes your heart work harder with every beat. It's like asking a 70-year-old heart to run uphill every morning before it's even had a chance to rest. Even worse, these smoothies often combine fruit with sweetened yogurt, flavored protein powder, or fruit juice concentrate, pushing the sugar content even higher. And while they may provide vitamins, those nutrients are quickly overshadowed by the metabolic chaos they cause: insulin resistance, fat buildup around the liver, and micro damage to the blood vessels that feed your brain and heart. Many people think, but it's natural sugar. Yes, but the body doesn't care where sugar comes from when it's isolated from fiber. The result is the same: a spike in blood glucose, oxidative stress, and inflammation. For seniors, whose circulation and metabolism already slow with age, these effects are even more dangerous, especially in the morning, when blood is naturally thicker and blood pressure tends to rise. If you love smoothies, you don't have to give them up completely. Just rebuild them wisely. Blend whole fruits like berries and apples with fiber-rich ingredients such as spinach, chia seeds, or oats. Skip the added honey, yogurt, or juice base. And most importantly, keep it small, no more than 8 ounces, to protect your heart from a flood it can no longer fight off easily. Because the truth is simple, a smoothie isn't healthy because it's made of fruit. It's healthy only when it respects your heart's limits. Number 2. Sitting for hours after meals. The hidden danger of post-meal inactivity. After a meal, it feels natural to sit back, relax, and let your food settle. Maybe you read the newspaper, watched TV, or just rest in your favorite chair. It seems harmless, even comforting. But what happens inside your body during those quiet hours might surprise you. Right after you eat, your body sends extra blood to the stomach and intestines to help with digestion. That means less blood flows to other areas, including your heart and legs. If you stay completely still, especially sitting or reclining, the blood in your lower body begins to pool and slow down. For a younger person, that may not matter much. But for someone over 60, slower circulation can turn into something dangerous: deep vein thrombosis, or what doctors call DVT. When blood sits still in your veins for too long, small clots can start to form. Most of them dissolve naturally, but not always. Sometimes a tiny clot can break free, travel upward, and lodge itself in the lungs, the brain, or even the heart. That's when a simple habit, staying seated after meals, becomes a silent trigger for stroke or heart attack. And that's not the only problem. Sitting for long periods also increases blood sugar and triglyceride levels after eating. When you don't move, your muscles can't help clear glucose from your bloodstream, so your heart and arteries are exposed to higher levels of sugar and fat for hours. That constant exposure inflames your vessel walls and accelerates arterial stiffness, one of the earliest signs of cardiovascular aging. The good news is, you don't need to run or exercise intensely to fix this. Just move gently after every meal. Take a 5 to 10 minute walk around your home or garden. Stand up and stretch your legs. Even light motion is enough to stimulate blood flow, lower post-meal sugar spikes, and keep your heart from straining. Because the truth is, your heart doesn't rest after you eat, it actually works harder. And when you sit for hours after a meal, you're asking it to carry that load alone. So next time you finish eating, don't collapse into the couch. Give your heart a little help. A few slow steps after lunch might seem small, but to your circulation, it's the difference between flow and stagnation, between strength and strain, between a healthy heart and a silent risk. Number 3. Taking painkillers. Every day for joint pain. The hidden strain on your heart. Joint pain is one of the most common struggles of aging. When your knees ache or your back stiffens, reaching for a painkiller feels natural, almost automatic. For many seniors, over-the-counter pills like ibuprofen, naproxen, or other anti-inflammatory drugs are part of daily life. They seem harmless, small tablets that bring big relief. But what most people don't realize is that these same pills, when used too often, can quietly strain the heart and blood vessels in dangerous ways. Here's what happens. Drugs like ibuprofen and naproxen belong to a class called NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They work by blocking certain enzymes that cause inflammation and pain. But those same enzymes also help your body regulate blood flow to the kidneys and heart. When you suppress them day after day, the body begins to retain sodium and water. Your blood volume increases, your pressure rises, and your heart is suddenly pushing harder with every beat. In the short term, you might not notice a thing. But over weeks or months, this extra workload leads to hypertension, fluid retention, and swelling in the ankles. It silently forces your heart to pump against greater resistance, like running uphill every day without rest. Studies show that daily NSAID use can raise the risk of heart attack or stroke by as much as 40%, especially in people with existing high blood pressure or kidney issues. And that's not all. These medications can also reduce the effect of blood pressure drugs or diuretics, creating a dangerous cycle where you take one pill to fix the problem and another pill quietly undoes it. Your heart ends up caught in the middle. If you need pain relief, there are safer ways to protect both your joints and your heart. Use painkillers only when necessary, not as a daily habit. Try natural anti-inflammatories like turmeric, ginger, or omega-3 rich fish oil. Stay active. Gentle movement improves circulation and joint lubrication better than rest alone. Pain relief shouldn't come at the cost of heart health. Your heart and your joints are connected through the same bloodstream. So the next time you reach for that familiar pill bottle, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this pain temporary, or am I building a habit that could cost me more later? Because protecting your heart sometimes means learning to ease pain the smarter way, not just the faster one. Number 4. Skipping breakfast or eating only toast. The morning mistake that shocks your heart. Morning sets the rhythm for your entire day. But for many older adults, breakfast has become the most neglected meal. Some skip it altogether, thinking it helps with weight control. Others grab a quick slice of white toast or a cup of coffee and call it done. It feels simple, light, and convenient. But to your heart, it's a shock. Here's why. When you wake up, your blood sugar and blood pressure naturally rise. It's your body's way of preparing for the day. If you skip breakfast, your blood sugar stays unstable, forcing your adrenal glands to release stress hormones like cortisol to keep you alert. That hormonal surge makes your heart beat faster, tightens your arteries, and raises your blood pressure. Over time, this morning stress response becomes one of the quiet triggers of hypertension and heart strain. And if you eat only refined carbs like white bread, the effect isn't much better. A plain slice of toast quickly turns into glucose in your bloodstream, giving you a burst of energy that fades within an hour. Your blood sugar spikes, then crashes, and your heart has to keep adjusting to those rapid swings. It's like asking your circulatory system to sprint, stop, and sprint again every single morning. Skipping breakfast also affects your blood viscosity, how thick your blood is. Without enough hydration or nutrients early in the day, your blood becomes more concentrated, especially after hours of sleep. That thicker blood moves slowly through your arteries, increasing the risk of clots, strokes, and morning heart attacks, which doctors say are most common between 6 a.m. and noon. The solution isn't complicated. Your heart doesn't need a heavy breakfast. It just needs a balanced one. Try something that includes protein, fiber, and healthy fats. A boiled egg with oatmeal, Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, whole grain toast with avocado or almond butter. Even a small, steady meal signals to your heart you're safe. You can slow down. Skipping breakfast might save you 10 minutes in the morning, but it steals hours from your heart over time. So tomorrow, before you reach for that single slice of toast or skip breakfast altogether, remember this. Every heartbeat deserves energy, not emptiness. Feed it gently, and it will carry you through the day with strength and calm. Number 5. Relying on low-fat packaged foods. The hidden sugar trap that damages arteries. For decades, food companies have told us that fat is the enemy. We saw the ads, we heard the doctors, and we started choosing foods labeled low-fat or fat-free. Yogurt, salad dressings, crackers, frozen meals, all promising to protect our hearts. But what many people don't realize is that when food manufacturers remove the fat, they don't leave it empty. They replace it with something far more dangerous: sugar, salt, and chemicals that quietly inflame your arteries. Fat gives food its flavor and texture. So when companies take it out, they need to add something back to make it taste good. And that something is usually refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial sweeteners. The result? A food that may have less fat on paper, but causes a bigger spike in blood sugar and insulin once you eat it. Here's what that means for your heart. Each sugar surge triggers inflammation in the lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. That inflammation makes arteries stiff and sticky, allowing cholesterol to attach and form plaque. Over time, your vessels narrow, your blood pressure rises, and your heart has to work harder to push blood through. This is how low fat turns into high risk. Even worse, many low-fat foods use refined grains and preservatives that strip away natural nutrients your body needs to repair cells. Instead of nourishing your heart, they overload it with empty calories that slow your metabolism and promote belly fat, a known marker of cardiovascular disease. It's easy to think you're eating healthy when the label says so. But heart protection doesn't come from marketing. It comes from balance. Your body actually needs healthy fats, the kind found in olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish. These fats reduce inflammation, improve cholesterol levels, and help absorb vital nutrients like vitamins A, D, E, and K, all essential for strong blood vessels and stable blood pressure. So next time you see the words low fat on a box, take a closer look. Flip it over and read the ingredients. If sugar, corn syrup, or artificial flavor comes before real food, put it back. Because your heart doesn't need fake health, it needs real nourishment. And sometimes, a little good fat is far better than a mountain of hidden sugar. Number 6. Sleeping right after dinner. The nighttime habit that weakens your heart. After a long day, dinner feels like comfort, a warm meal, a full belly, and then the soft pull of sleep. For many seniors, lying down right after eating seems harmless, even natural. But what happens inside your body in that quiet moment tells a very different story. When you finish dinner, your stomach and intestines are still working hard. Blood rushes to your digestive system to break down food and absorb nutrients. If you lie down immediately, gravity no longer helps your stomach keep food and acid where they belong. The result is acid reflux, that uncomfortable burning in your chest that sometimes creeps into your throat. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not just discomfort. That reflux can trigger heart palpitations, chest tightness, and vascular constriction, especially in those with high blood pressure or heart disease. The reason is simple but powerful. When acid moves upward, your body interprets it as stress, and your sympathetic nervous system reacts instantly. Your heart rate speeds up, your arteries tighten, your blood pressure climbs. If this happens night after night, it can quietly wear down your heart's rhythm and increase the risk of nocturnal strokes and heart attacks. And the danger doesn't stop there. Lying flat after dinner also slows digestion, allowing blood sugar and triglyceride levels to stay elevated for hours. This nighttime stagnation, where your body neither moves nor processes efficiently, is a hidden cause of metabolic inflammation, the kind that hardens arteries over time. But protecting yourself doesn't mean giving up comfort. It just means giving your body a little more time. After dinner, stay upright for at least 90 minutes. Take a gentle walk, wash the dishes, or stretch your legs while listening to music. If you feel sleepy, rest in a reclined position instead of lying completely flat. And most importantly, make your last meal of the day lighter and earlier, with less fat, less salt, and fewer heavy carbs. Foods like steamed vegetables, soup, or yogurt digest faster and reduce reflux. Your heart works hardest when you rest. Don't make it fight digestion at the same time. Give it peace before sleep, and it will give you calm, steady beats through the night. Because a healthy heart doesn't just depend on what you eat. It depends on when you let it rest. Number 7. Ignoring chronic stress or worry. The emotional weight that damages the heart. Not all heart damage comes from food or lack of exercise. Some of it comes from something far quieter. the weight you carry inside: worry, fear, guilt, loneliness. They don't show up on your plate, but they leave deep marks on your heart. When you live under constant stress, whether it's from family troubles, money worries, or health fears, your body stays in a state of alert. Your brain releases cortisol and adrenaline, the same hormones that once helped your ancestors run from danger. But in today's world, there's no tiger chasing you, just a constant stream of thoughts that never stop. And that's where the real harm begins. These stress hormones cause your heart to beat faster, your blood vessels to tighten, and your blood pressure to rise. Over time, this creates a state of chronic inflammation inside your arteries. The vessel walls grow stiff and irritated, and tiny cracks form. That's where cholesterol and plaque begin to stick, silently narrowing the passage where your lifeblood flows. Many cardiologists now call this the foundation of emotional heart disease. You might not feel it at first, maybe just fatigue, poor sleep, or a heavy chest that feels impossible to describe. But under the surface, your heart is fighting, not against a physical threat, but against invisible pressure that never lets it rest. And yet, there's hope, because stress, unlike genetics, can be eased, not erased completely, but softened through small daily choices. Start with deep breathing. Just 5 minutes a day can lower cortisol levels and calm your heart rhythm. Try short walks outside, where natural light helps rebalance your nervous system. If your mind feels too full, write things down: a simple list, a short prayer, or a few words of gratitude before bed. Each of these moments tells your body, you are safe. The truth is, your heart listens to your emotions more closely than you think. Every sigh, every worry, every sleepless night adds weight to its rhythm. But every breath of calm, every quiet act of release, gives it strength again. Because healing the heart isn't only about what you eat, it's also about what you let go of. Peace is medicine too. Number 8. Drinking diet or zero-sugar beverages. The artificial sweetener trap that confuses the heart. They promise freedom: no sugar, no calories, no guilt. For many older adults trying to control weight or diabetes, diet sodas and zero-sugar drinks seem like a smart choice. After all, they don't raise blood sugar, right? But what most people don't realize is that these guilt-free drinks can quietly confuse the body. And over time, they may hurt your heart and blood vessels more than they help. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium were created to trick the brain into tasting sweetness without the calories. The problem is, your body doesn't like being tricked. When your tongue senses sweetness, your brain prepares for sugar. It releases insulin, expecting glucose to follow. But when no sugar arrives, that insulin floats unused in your bloodstream, creating metabolic confusion. Over time, this imbalance leads to insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and inflammation, the same problems caused by real sugar. A Harvard study in 2019 found that people who drank 2 or more diet sodas a day had a 29% higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Another study from the American Stroke Association linked artificial sweeteners to a higher rate of stroke and dementia in older adults. Researchers believe these chemicals disrupt the gut microbiome, the bacteria that help regulate metabolism and protect your arteries. When your gut is unbalanced, inflammation rises, blood vessels stiffen, and your heart pays the price. And here's another hidden danger. Artificially sweetened drinks keep your craving for sugar alive. They train your brain to expect constant sweetness, making healthy foods like fruits and vegetables seem bland. That makes it harder to change your diet, even when you want to. If you truly want to protect your heart, it's time to break the illusion of zero sugar. The healthiest drink is still the simplest one: water. Add a few slices of lemon, cucumber, or mint for flavor. Unsweetened green tea or hibiscus tea can also lower blood pressure naturally and support healthy circulation. Because the truth is, the body doesn't want zero. It wants real balance. Artificial sweeteners may fool your taste buds, but they can't fool your heart. Every sip sends a message, and your heart deserves one of honesty. Clean, clear, and natural. Number 9. Eating canned or frozen meals for convenience. The salty trap that silently raises blood pressure. For many older adults, cooking every day isn't easy. The hands ache, the legs feel tired, and the kitchen can seem like too much work. So they turn to something simple: frozen dinners and canned meals that promise nutrition and convenience in just minutes. But while these foods may save time, they quietly cost your heart far more than you realize. Most canned or frozen healthy meals are loaded with sodium, often between 800 and 1,200 milligrams per serving, nearly an entire day's limit in one sitting. That salt is added not for flavor alone, but for preservation, to make the food last months or even years on a shelf. And when you eat it, that salt enters your bloodstream, pulling water with it. The extra fluid increases your blood volume, forcing your heart to pump harder and your arteries to stretch under pressure. Over time, that constant tension leads to hypertension, fluid retention, and swollen blood vessels, the silent trio behind most heart attacks and strokes. The real danger is that you may not even taste the salt. Many brands hide it behind sauces, gravies, or seasoned vegetables that seem perfectly balanced. But your heart knows the difference. When your sodium levels stay high day after day, your blood becomes thicker, your vessels lose flexibility, and oxygen struggles to reach vital organs. A 2021 NIH study found that seniors who consumed processed meals more than 4 times a week had a 37% higher risk of stroke or cardiac events. It's not just the salt, it's also the lack of potassium, magnesium, and fiber that come from fresh foods. Without those minerals to balance sodium, the body can't maintain proper vascular tone. The good news: you don't have to give up convenience, just make smarter swaps. Look for labels marked low sodium or no salt added. Rinse canned vegetables or beans under water for 30 seconds. This can wash away up to 40% of the sodium. Stock your freezer with simple ingredients like frozen spinach, peas, or brown rice instead of full meals. Your heart doesn't mind a little help from modern life. It just needs you to read the label before you trust the promise. Because the food that saves you time shouldn't also steal years from your heart. Number 10. Overusing plant-based milk alternatives. The hidden inflammation. Behind the label. Walk down any grocery aisle today and you'll see them lined up like trophies. Almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, coconut milk. Beautiful packaging, soft colors, words like dairy-free, cholesterol-free, and heart-healthy. It's no wonder so many older adults have switched from cow's milk to these plant-based options, believing they're protecting their heart. But not all of them are as pure as they appear. Most commercial plant-based milks are not made from whole nuts or grains. They're made from water, additives, and industrial seed oils. To improve texture and taste, companies add thickeners like carrageenan, gums, and emulsifiers, which may irritate the gut and increase inflammation in sensitive individuals. Some even contain added sugars, as much as 10 to 15 grams per serving, which quietly raise insulin levels and stress the arteries. And here's something few people realize. Many plant-based milks are fortified with calcium carbonate and synthetic vitamins, which don't always absorb well in older adults. Without enough vitamin D and magnesium to balance, that extra calcium can build up in the bloodstream instead of the bones, contributing to arterial calcification, the hardening of arteries that increases stroke and heart disease risk. Then there's the fat issue. Oat milk in particular, often uses canola or sunflower oil to mimic the creaminess of dairy. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, and when consumed in excess, especially without enough omega-3s, they promote chronic vascular inflammation. That inflammation is the root of most heart problems, from high blood pressure to plaque buildup. If you enjoy plant-based milk, you don't have to give it up entirely. Just choose wisely. Pick unsweetened, no-oil varieties with short ingredient lists. Avoid any with carrageenan or natural flavors. Rotate between options like unsweetened almond milk, hemp milk, or homemade oat milk to reduce exposure to additives. And remember, the healthiest milk for your heart doesn't come from a box. It comes from whole foods. A handful of soaked almonds, a spoon of chia seeds and water, or a cup of kefir provides the same comfort with real nourishment. Because your heart doesn't need trendy substitutes. It needs balance, honesty, and food that nature made simple. Number 11. Watching TV late into the night. The hidden habit that disrupts your heart's rest. For many seniors, late-night TV feels like companionship. It fills the quiet hours, distracts from loneliness, and makes falling asleep easier. Or at least, that's what it seems to do. But what most people don't realize is that every hour spent under that glowing screen is slowly stealing rest from the heart. Your body follows a natural rhythm, the circadian clock, which tells your heart when to work and when to rest. As evening falls, your brain releases melatonin, the hormone that signals your blood vessels to relax, and your heart rate to slow down for the night. But the blue light from television screens and phones blocks that process, tricking your brain into thinking it's still daytime. When melatonin levels stay low, your nervous system remains on alert. Your heart continues to beat faster, your blood pressure stays higher, and your arteries never get the recovery time they need. Over time, this leads to nighttime hypertension, a silent condition where blood pressure fails to drop during sleep. And research shows that seniors with nighttime hypertension face a 40% higher risk of heart attack or stroke, even if their daytime readings are normal. There's another hidden danger. Late-night shows often come with emotional highs and lows, dramatic news, violent movies, or even loud commercials. Your heart reacts to those moments as if they were real stress. It releases adrenaline, tightens blood vessels, and interrupts the calm rhythm needed for deep, restorative sleep. You may not notice it, but your heart does. That restless feeling when you finally turn off the TV isn't relaxation, it's exhaustion. Protecting your heart at night doesn't mean cutting off joy or comfort. It simply means creating a gentle routine that tells your body it's safe to rest. Try turning off screens at least 1 hour before bed. Dim the lights, read a book, or listen to calm music. If silence feels uncomfortable, use soft background sounds instead of bright screens. Your heart needs darkness to heal. It needs stillness to recover from the day's stress. Because every beat you save during rest becomes energy you can use in the morning for walking, laughing, and living fully. So tonight, when the credits roll and the next episode begins, ask yourself, does my heart need another hour of light or another year of life? Number 12. Not drinking enough water. During the day, the silent dehydration that thickens your blood and weakens your heart. It's one of the simplest acts in life, drinking a glass of water. And yet, it's something many older adults quietly forget to do. Not because they don't care, but because their sense of thirst fades with age. They don't feel thirsty, so they assume they're fine. But inside, their heart is working harder and harder to push thick, sluggish blood through narrow vessels. When your body lacks water, your blood volume decreases. To compensate, your blood becomes more concentrated, thicker, heavier. That makes it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. Each beat must push with more force to move that dense blood through the arteries, increasing blood pressure and strain on vessel walls. This slow dehydration doesn't happen overnight. It builds quietly, day after day, until one morning the heart says, "Enough." A 2021 study by the National Institutes of Health found that older adults who stayed well hydrated had a 30% lower risk of stroke and heart failure compared to those who didn't. Why? Because hydration helps maintain proper blood viscosity and electrolyte balance, preventing clots from forming in the first place. When you're dehydrated, blood flow slows, oxygen delivery decreases, and the heart must work overtime, even at rest. The signs can be subtle: fatigue, dizziness, dry mouth, leg cramps, or confusion. But the real danger is invisible: microclots that form in thickened blood and can travel silently to the brain or heart. It's one of the reasons strokes so often happen in the early morning after long hours without fluids. The solution is gentle, not drastic. You don't need to drink gallons of water, just a steady rhythm of hydration throughout the day. Start your morning with a glass of warm water before coffee or tea. Keep a small bottle nearby and sip slowly every hour. Add lemon or cucumber slices if plain water feels boring. Herbal teas and soups also count toward your daily intake. And most importantly, drink before you feel thirsty. Because by the time thirst appears, your body is already asking for help. Water is more than refreshment. It's circulation, oxygen, and life itself. Every sip you take lightens your heart's workload, clears your blood, and gives your body the peace it's been quietly craving. So today, raise a glass of water, not in celebration, but in gratitude, because something so simple is still the purest way to say, "I care for my heart." Your heart has been with you through everything, every joy, every loss, every long day and quiet night. It has never stopped, not once, not even for a moment. And now, after 60, it asks for something simple in return: a little care, a little awareness, a little rest. Each of these 12 habits may seem small on their own: a late-night show, a missed glass of water, a frozen dinner here and there. But together, they form the rhythm of your days. And that rhythm is what shapes your heart's future. The good news is healing doesn't require perfection. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just begin with one gentle step. Drink more water, breathe deeply, walk after meals, sleep a little earlier. Because every small act of care gives your heart a chance to recover, to grow stronger, to beat a little easier. Your heart is not fragile. It's faithful. It simply needs you to listen. So let today be the moment you start giving it what it's been giving you all along: steady love, steady rhythm, steady life. Because a healthy heart isn't built in hospitals. It's built in the quiet choices you make every single day.